Okay, let's dive right in. We all hear the incredible hype around startups, but let's be real. The hard truth is that most of them fail. So, what we're going to do here is unpack the playbook that successful ventures actually use. We're going to see how a smart, structured approach can help you completely flip the script and beat those startup odds.
So let's just start with a number that's, well, it's pretty sobering. Yeah, you'll see different figures, but they all hover in this range. This is the percentage of new consumer products that just don't make it. It's a massive, daunting figure that looms over every single new idea.
And look, this isn't just a case of bad luck. This is the fundamental challenge of building something new. So the real question becomes, why? What's going on here? What's the common thread that runs through all these failures?
Well, it turns out the number one reason for failure isn't a bad product or a weak team. It's a lack of solid market analysis. The key isn't just to build something cool. It's to build smarter, right from the very beginning. And that all starts with a rock-solid plan.
Beating the odds really begins with that solid plan. And in the startup world, we call that plan your business model. You should think of it as the actual blueprint for your entire company, and it's built on 4 absolutely critical pillars. First up, and this one is huge, you've got to know who you're really selling to. And trust me, it's not always who you think. The user is the person who gets the benefit from your product, like a patient using an insulin pump. But the customer, that's the person or the company that actually cuts the check. It could be a hospital or an insurance company. And each of them wants something totally different. You have to solve for both.
Okay, next pillar. How are you going to reach that customer? You could go direct to them, which gives you complete control over your brand and, crucially, that customer relationship. Or you could go through a partner, like a retailer. They handle all the heavy lifting of distribution, but they also get to control that vital relationship with the end user.
And this table just lays out the trade-off so clearly. If you go direct, you keep all the potential profit, sure, but you also take on all the risk. Going indirect might give you more predictable cash flow, but your partner is the one who gets the biggest upside, and this is key. They own the user data. There's no single right answer, just the one that's right for your specific business.
All right, third pillar. You need a crystal clear plan for how this whole thing is actually going to make money. Is it a subscription model? Are you selling things one by one? Are you licensing your tech, taking a cut of each transaction? Or is it all based on advertising? This choice literally defines the financial engine of your entire company.
And finally, the fourth pillar. What's your philosophy? Are you a cost-driven business where you are absolutely laser-focused on being the cheapest option out there? Or are you value-driven, where the whole game is about creating a premium, white-glove experience that people are happy to pay more for? This decision shapes everything.
So now we've got our blueprint. Awesome. But here's the catch. Right now, it's just a collection of really smart guesses. It's a hypothesis. The next most critical step is to test it in the real world before you pour a ton of time and money into it. And this is exactly where feasibility analysis comes in. It's just a structured way to test every single piece of your business model. And the goal here isn't to prove you're right. No, the goal is to find out where you're wrong as fast and as cheap as you possibly can. This is your number one tool for taming uncertainty.
The whole process is really just a simple, repeating loop. Step 1, you state a hypothesis. Something like, I bet college students will pay for an app that lets them skip the line at the cafeteria. Step 2, you design a quick experiment to test that. Step 3, you get it out there and see what happens. And Step 4, you adapt your model based on what you learned. This little loop is how you turn your guesses into solid facts.
Okay, so once you've gone through that loop and you've validated the core ideas in your blueprint, now it's time to actually build something. But you're not building the final polished product. No way. You're building the first draft.
This product development cycle has 3 big stages. It always starts with customer discovery, really deeply understanding their problems. Then, you move to validation design, where you test your proposed solution with them. Only then, once you've done that, do you move on to actually creating the business and launching. Did you catch that? The customer is at the beginning and the middle of the process, not just some afterthought at the end.
You don't need a perfect product to get started. What you need is something called a minimum viable product, or an MVP. It's the absolute simplest version of your product that delivers that core bit of value to a small group of early adopters. Its goal isn't to make millions of dollars. Its only goal is to learn.
But here's a pro tip. The MVP strategy is not a one-size-fits-all solution. If you're just making a small improvement on something that already exists, your MVP needs to be pretty darn good because your customers have other options. But if you're building something truly new, something disruptive, Your customers don't expect perfection. They're just thrilled a solution exists at all. And that is the perfect scenario for an MVP.
Now, as you actually start to build, you are going to run smack into a very hard reality. You cannot have it all. Every single decision you make is a compromise, and being successful means getting really, really good at making the right ones. And these are the classic dilemmas, right? You want to add more cool features? Okay, that's going to cost you more and it's going to push back your launch date. You want to lower the cost of the product? Well, that might mean spending a fortune on new manufacturing equipment. Every decision is this constant balancing act between features, cost, and speed. So you launch your product. It's out in the world, but that is not the finish line. Not even close. It's the starting line. And playing the long game in a world that's constantly changing requires a very specific and very powerful mindset.
The philosopher Nassim Taleb came up with this brilliant concept. It's not about being resilient and just bouncing back after you take a hit. It's about being anti-fragile. It's a state where shocks, chaos, and uncertainty don't break you. They actually make you stronger.
So how do you actually do that? Taleb suggests what he calls a barbell strategy. Think about it like this. On one side, you put 90% of your energy into playing it super safe, protecting your core business, guarding what you absolutely cannot afford to lose. But with the other 10%, you take a bunch of small, calculated risks that have massive potential upsides. This structure lets you benefit from happy accidents without getting wiped out by the bad ones. And all of this leaves us with one final powerful thought. Beating the odds isn't just about a great idea. It's about building an entire system, a business model, a product process, and a mindset that doesn't just tolerate uncertainty, it embraces it. So the question to leave you with is this: how can you design your business not just to survive the unexpected, but to actually thrive on it?